I don't know why they're not starting the game yet, but I'm ready for some action. There we go. They heard me. And the clocks begin. Lela Javahishvili has the white pieces, and Harika with a d4 g6 bomb going for the win
Wow.
right from the start.
But why? I mean, it's not a must-win situation.
Nope.
What is happening?
In the event of a draw, they simply play another game. And c3, a solid line by Javahishvili.
But it caught Java actually by surprise. Yeah, she did spend some time and she did not want to be provoked. She plays the most natural one. And here's knight c6 supposed to be the best setup. Yeah, knight c6 e5, and she goes for it.
And this is an uber solid continuation for white, kind of minimizing and mitigating the risk. Bishop to g5, I think, is a typical way of developing. You could play rook e1, you could play h3. There's a lot of different ways of positioning your minor pieces here.
Yes, I think when I was playing this from the white side, like in the middle of the 90s, I was actually the one who went for this rook e1 h3 and then knight h3, knight c2 kind of construction. Bishop g5, bishop h4, I was never such a big fan of developing that bishop to h4. It's more like a reverse Draity kind of approach.
And e5, counter-striking in the center, is Jonavali Harika. Javahishvili burning a lot of clock here. She's 40 seconds down.
She's not familiar with the position at all, so maybe it was a very nice call from Harika.
Really taking her time. She's down to 2 minutes, and the position's still peaceful in the sense that white can play pretty quickly, but if things heat up, she's going to regret it. And she's made a move.
One of the she played knight bd2, she developed, and then black plays queen e8. Exactly, that's the typical idea. You sidestep out of the pin and you get ready for some knight h5, knight f4 action. She releases the tension with d takes e5.
He releases the tension indeed, but while the structure is relatively symmetrical, that doesn't mean it's a draw. Obviously, black has a lot of active ideas on the king side. Knight f6 to h5 to f4 is one of the key ideas, I think, to develop an initiative on the king side.
Yeah, and white plays f3. She's trying to bring her bishop back to f2, but it weakens. It weakens some squares.
I would go knight h5. I would really be enjoying myself here with black. It feels like black's got the easier play on the king side.
Yeah, she already activated her knight to f4. Bishop fell back to f1. It's still a very solid position, of course, for white, but black has serious counterplay.
Extremely solid position. I would maybe consider completing the development with bishop e6. And then
it's the logical way, yeah. It's just get that bishop, but this bishop on h4 is kind of still a bit tricky, yeah. It eyes the d8 square. She opts for b6.
And Lela pushing a4, both sides grabbing space on the queen side. Knight d2 usually moves up to c4, and this is a move I would just kind of throw in, and then maybe get the queen off of the d-file so that it could be replaced by the rook. And
yes, I mean, queen c2, yeah, queen c2, rook a d1, eventually the knight heading to e3. It's kind of a very typical setup.
Black's still up 30 seconds here on the clock. The position remains fairly simple for both sides to handle.
Yeah, but I do feel like a little bit white improved. I'm not sure that this b6 a5 was really called for, and she goes for bishop a6. She wants to trade the light squared bishops. It isn't so obvious to me who benefits from this.
I feel like white's a smidge better after knight e3, with ultimately the idea of situating the knight on d5, but as long as black's knight is on f4, that's not easy to achieve. Queen c6, b3. Okay.
Yeah, no, this is strange. This is strange. I mean, yes, I understand that you want to keep the knight on c4, but doesn't look so harmonious.
And the bishop drops back to f2, declining the trade of dark squared bishops is Javahishvili. And it's easy to blunder. Oh, well, rook a d8, knight takes c5 has to be calculated, but I think black will be able to recapture there on c3 with the queen.
Yes. Yes, but so many strategical finesses and no time for the players. Yeah, they are both close to 1 minute on the clock.
Rook f to d8, and white is likely to play rook a d1. I mean, we are starting to head in the direction of a lot of heavy piece trades.
Yeah, rook d1 is kind of thematic.
And king g7. Good move by Harika, keeping the tension.
Yeah, I mean, you have to wait and you have to make quick moves. Yeah, you have to keep the pressure on your opponent.
What now for Javahishvili? Does she play king h1? Does she also make a waiting move? Or does white chase away the knight with g3 and then implement the knight e3, knight d5 maneuver? That would be the more aggressive approach.
Yeah, but with 1 minute on the clock, I somehow feel like maybe rook d1, rook d8, rook d1 will be played. It's a nervous situation.
Bishop e3, knight e6. Could get a repetition of moves if white plays bishop f2.
No, but that wasn't the idea of bishop e3, to repeat.
Yeah. And takes on d8. We might get a trade here of all of the rooks.
Yeah, takes. If already you took on d8, I guess it's logical to follow it up with rook d1.
But then I feel like takes knight c5, and suddenly black gets some threats. Knight takes a4, and white's got to watch out here. Less than 30 seconds also.
Suddenly it's tricky.
Uh-oh.
Queen c2, knight takes...
Calm move.
Knight takes a4, knight takes a5, yeah, still holds the position.
So Harika, what does she do?
h5,
she played
just
h5,
push the pawn.
Keeping the tension. Bishop
yeah, very nice little move. Bishop c8.
Getting the bishop around to e6. I feel like black is definitely pressing here. No question about it.
But now knight d2. This was a nice stabilizing move. Black opts for queen d6. Knight c4. No, bishop c4. Queen e7. Very nervous situation. White is down to 15 seconds.
And she's freezing. She's down to 10 seconds. Bishop d5 centralizing the bishop. And the knight can go around to f4, but Harika going on the dark squares there. And this trade would benefit black. Knight f1.
Yeah, knight f1.
Oh, man. Bishop a6 almost looks tempting. Bishop e6, I don't know about that. A trade. And white is worse because of the weak pawns on the queen side.
But
back
okay,
to
queen
e7.
d2. Yes, back to e7. Correct call. Yeah, with little time on the clock.
Queen a3.
It's very tricky.
Infiltrating. Woo!
Wow.
Oh, what a move. What a move. Queen takes c3. She'll drop the pawn. And she's losing.
Oh my god.
King f6. Wait. Oh, why that check? That was hasty by Harika. She had king f6. But still probably better.
It's all nerves.
Knight c5, pawn on b3 is lost. I think she's losing.
Okay, she needs knight c4 and then bring the king. King f6.
c6 and b5 will create a second passer. Harika doesn't need to hurry. She's got 30 seconds. King c5, king b4.
But clearly she's very nervous.
Oh, knight d4.
And she gave contra chance.
Huge counterplay. And she goes back. Oh, but here comes her king.
Okay, but some counterplay h4,
G4,
g4, exactly.
Ho, ho, ho. Wait a second. How do you stop the pawn? You go f6 and knight f7.
Knight f7, yes.
Wow. And she's winning.
She is winning. And knight g5 check takes the pawn even.
g2. Promoting. And that's it. And she's touched the knight, but it doesn't matter. Harika is going to win.
But hang on, what kind of piece? Ah, yes, okay, queen. Yeah, that's it. Harika cannot believe she's crying from the joy, the happiness that she qualified, from the relief.
The pressure up until the very last move is played. Doesn't matter if you're up a queen, you're up 3 queens. It's unimaginable. And you can mess up at any moment. Thrown a volley. Harika It took her 2 blitz games, and she ends it with a victory, promoting her pawn and defeating Lela Javahishvili. 2 incredible blitz matches that we just saw.